Shadowed Battlegrounds presents Shadows Over Albion, the Invasion Chronicles, Episode 1, Operation Sea Lion. Hans Müller sat at the kitchen table in his modest home, the early morning light filtering through the window. His mother, her face lined with worry, placed a simple breakfast before him. The aroma of fresh bread and coffee filled the air, but Hans barely noticed. His mind was already far away, across the English Channel. "Hans, are you sure about this?" his mother asked softly, her voice tinged with concern. Hans looked up, meeting her eyes with a determined gaze. "I have to do my duty, Mother, for our country." His mother sighed and placed a hand on his. "Just promise me you'll be careful." "I promise," Hans said, offering a reassuring smile, though he felt anything but confident. Later that afternoon, Hans found himself at the German military camp, the air thick with the sounds of training. Soldiers ran drills, practiced shooting, and talked about the upcoming invasion. The camaraderie was evident, even as tension lingered beneath the surface. "Think we'll make it across the channel, Hans?" one of his comrades asked, a grin on his face. Hans nodded confidently. "We'll do more than that. We'll take London by storm." Another comrade, more serious, chimed in. "Let's just hope the weather is on our side." Hans and his fellow soldiers gathered in a briefing room as the sun dipped below the horizon. A high-ranking officer stood before them, a map of Britain spread out on the table. "Gentlemen," the officer began, his tone serious, "Operation Sea Lion is our chance to strike at the heart of Britain. We land at Dover, Ramsgate, and other key locations. Stay focused and follow your orders." Hans listened intently, his face a mix of determination and anxiety. The weight of the mission pressed down on him, but he knew he had to stay strong. That night, in the dim light of his bunk, Hans wrote a letter to his family. The sounds of the camp settling for the night were a distant backdrop to his thoughts. "Dear Mother," he wrote, "by the time you read this, we will be on our way to Britain. I promise to come back. Keep me in your prayers. Love, Hans." He folded the letter and placed it in an envelope, staring out the small window into the night. The unknown lay ahead, but Hans steeled himself for whatever was to come. At dawn, Hans and his comrades boarded the ships that would take them to Britain. The military port was alive with activity, engines roaring and soldiers murmuring. Hans stood on the deck, the horizon a thin line of promise and peril. "This is it, Hans." "Ready?" a comrade asked, patting him on the back. "Ready as I'll ever be," Hans replied, his voice resolute. The ships cut through the waves of the English Channel, the morning light casting a golden glow on the water. Hans looked out at the sea, feeling the tension among the soldiers. Some were nervous, others excited, but all shared the same destination. "There it is, Britain," one of his comrades said, pointing at the distant shore. Hans whispered to himself, "For the fatherland." As the ships approached the British coast, the tension peaked. Hans gripped his rifle, his heart pounding. The coastline drew nearer, the details of the shore coming into focus. The invasion was about to begin. If you like this episode and want to see more, click on the button top left. If you would like to support this channel, please like and subscribe by clicking the thumbs up button, and then subscribe by clicking the button top right. Thank you.